I've had phone consults with clients, people in the past. I'm on the phone. Hey, any side effects?
No.
Really? Coach Greg, and in today's video, there are a lot of positives from PEDs. And people, they forget about that. Really? You really think that's true? Well, Danielle, a posing and contest prep coach, looks incredible. She's going to point out that PEDs can in fact be safe if used effectively. And so I've watched a number of videos, and overall, I do think she is an effective coach, that she knows what she's talking about, seems to have some good ideas. But I do want to go over her opinions on PEDs, and I'm really happy that she brought them out, is because so many people simply don't talk about them. Athletes, competitors, for the most part, many of them seem to be using them, but it's often not discussed.
Many people are scared of PEDs because all you hear about is the negative side effects. But there are a lot of positives from PEDs.
And so the first thing is, I actually think people downplay the negatives. People seem to mostly only worry about gyno and acne, and they're not worried about all the other harmful effects. For example, Exhibit A, her voice.
There are a lot of positives from PEDs.
She clearly looks amazing, but as she's speaking, she has the sound of someone who abused PEDs. It doesn't sound as feminine as it used to be.
Here are 3 tips to help maximize your progress in your fitness journey.
And so the problem is, no one knows what dose this is going to occur at. And the longer you use PEDs, the more likely this is going to result, and the worse it's going to get. When you first start using them, you don't notice it. But as the days, weeks, months, and years go by, it continues to accrue. And by the end of it, you can quite literally have that nasally sounding, deep type of voice.
Many people are scared of PEDs because all you hear about is the negative side effects.
And so how many of out there have only heard about the negative side effects of PEDs? Never heard any of the good stuff? Does anyone watching this right now not understand that it can help you to build muscle, possibly to burn fat, to get a more incredible physique faster than last time? Well, that's the good stuff. And so how many of you don't know any about this and you only hear about the bad? Now, when I was growing up as a teenager, I was told steroids don't work, perhaps a little bit faster, but you can get just as good of results if you just keep working harder and are patient. Lo and behold, studied it and was like, they're full of shit. Steroids actually work.
PEDs only have negative side effects when the dosage is too high for you or that individual.
And so technically now she's downplaying them.
In a prep phase, it can be very beneficial for an athlete to use PEDs because it's going to help them keep that lean muscle mass on.
During a prep phase, that's when you get shredded and add muscle in preparation for going on stage to be at your peak form. She says it can help you keep your lean muscle. It's going to do a lot more than that. Not only keep lean muscle, but add to it.
PEDs only have negative side effects when the dosage is too high for you or that individual.
Now, here's the problem with that. How do you know where that dosage is? You cannot. No coach, not even a doctor, can decide whether or not you have negative side effects or not. You look in the mirror and say, I don't have any acne, don't have any gyno. My voice sounds normal, and so I'm good, right? Wrong. Have you checked your blood work? How do you actually know no long-term damage is being done? How do you know if your heart is being enlarged? You do not. And remember, you can't always hear the changes in your voice. I've had phone consults with clients, people in the past. I'm on the phone. Hey, any side effects?
No.
Really? You don't hear your voice? I can quite literally hear and tell and know for sure that you've taken PEDs, but you don't notice it. It creeps up. And if you're a female, you might think, oh, I just got a cold. That cold that you think you have, it's your voice changing. And if you stop right away, perhaps you can undo the damage. But if you keep going, it's going to get worse. And every single time you do it, you're going to become a little bit worse than you were before. Perhaps you do your first cycle and you only change approximately 5%. You become 5% more masculine. Can't really notice it. A 5% change in your voice, no one's going to really notice that. 5% more hair growth, 5% growth on the downstairs. No one can tell, but you keep doing this, you keep preparing for competition, off-season PEDs, preparing for competition using PEDs year after year. That 5% becomes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. And so a few years later, you've changed by 50%. Your voice no longer sounds the same. And the downstairs, it's grown a shit ton. Maybe you like that. Who knows? You're now shaving, thinking, oh, it's no big deal. I can use a laser. I'm good. But that voice most often will stay with you for the rest of your life. And I'm not voice shaming. Think of it, it's Coach Greg. I have the worst voice on YouTube. But if you don't want your voice to get worse, be very careful with PEDs. And I'm not saying no one should ever do them, but you should make an informed and educated decision and know that with the good must come the bad. You can't just use safe doses. There is no safe dose.
So when the dosage is at an optimal amount, it will be very beneficial for the athlete and help them in a prep phase or off-season phase.
And so she says when the dose is optimal, it's going to help you. Any dose is going to help you. The problem is any dose is going to hurt you. And so what you have to do is weigh the pros with the cons. What are you willing to lose? Are you willing to sacrifice your health, your voice, your beauty, your femininity, your heart, liver, kidneys, cholesterol, blood pressure? Just recently, Sadiq, we all love Sadiq. He pulled out of the Mr. Olympia. Why? His blood pressure through the roof. Had to pull out 3 weeks from the Olympia because he was not healthy. And why do you think that is? He's in men's physique. Those guys are natural, right? Wrong. They're on a shit ton of PEDs and it's not safe for anyone. There is no optimal dose. You think any of the guys in the Mr. Olympia are using optimal doses of PEDs and not getting any unwanted side effects? And so no matter how safe you think you are, think again. No dose is safe. Anytime you use or abuse PEDs, you are playing Russian roulette with your health. And remember, the vast majority of people are using PEDs, and so what she's trying to come across is that if you use PEDs, you're going to obviously look a lot better. But I do feel she's downplaying and saying that, well, you can do them safely. I'm here to say you can't do them safely. You can do them safer. The lower the dose, and for the shorter period of time you do it, the less danger it's going to be. But it's still not safe.
Your macros with lots of volume, low calorie, high volume meals or snacks or lots of vegetables, you're probably not doing yourself any good because it's hard for your digestive system to break down foods with a lot of volume, especially a lot throughout the day.
And so she makes some great points. And if we were in a debate, I totally get what she's saying. I preach eating low calorie dense foods like lots of fruits and vegetables and popcorn so that you're full and satiated, because when I diet, I hate being hungry. She's saying when you're on a cut, I'd rather you be hungry. I'd rather eat high calorie dense foods, for example, nuts, avocados. And this is great advice. The problem is you are going to be hungry. And so it's a trade-off. When you're eating low calorie dense foods like I do, it is a trade-off. You're going to be more bloated. It takes longer to digest a lot of fiber. And so, for example, if you're eating one of my Seco protein bars, this is the birthday cake bar, 15 grams of fiber. It's going to take longer to digest. In comparison, if you had nuts, it's going to be a lot more dense. It's not going to fill up your stomach as much. And so if you eat my bar, you won't be as hungry, but you won't look as shredded. When you're eating apples and fruit in comparison to nuts, your stomach gets bloated and you don't look as lean. But you are going to be hungrier. And so during contest prep, what do you think the number one reason people give up is? It's hunger. You can't stand it. You're starved all the time and you don't like what you're doing. That's why I suggest when people go on a diet, they get my freaking cookbook. It's full of low calorie dense foods for the big eaters. The opposite of what she's suggesting, which is high calorie dense foods. But remember this, if you eat her way, you are going to be hungry. She says it herself. I'd rather you be hungry.
I'd rather an athlete in prep or in a cutting phase be hungrier throughout the day than fill their macros with lots of volume.
I prefer you to stick to your diet and be full. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll be lean. All that food will be digested and you will have a flat and lean stomach. But as the day goes on, as you eat, you're going to get more bloated. But that's okay. The normal condition of the human body is not to look like it's always fasted. You have to at some point eat. And it's okay. It's okay to have a little food, baby, once in a while. Looking for the cookbook? Now's the time to buy it. It's on special. Code FREEBOOK. You buy one book, you get one free of any other kind. Training book, circle, diet book, and so on. And so there's no right way to do this. She's not wrong, and I'm not wrong. We're both right. And so there you have it. I just wanted to cover a little bit of this, give you an idea. She does seem to know what she's saying for the most part. I wanted to present what she said versus what I said so that you could hear both of our opinions and come to your own conclusions. And so remember, looking for the protein bars or getting the frickin' cookbook to allow yourself to be more satiated, less hungry, stick to your diet. It's all about calories in, calories out. Please click the link in the description. Use code Greg, 10% off the bars. Use code FREEBOOK. Buy one book, get one free. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for that algo, watch one of the bloops, follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette, IPP Pro. Remember about the consults, cameos, and until next time, I am out.